Hey everybody, how's it going? In this video, we're going to be talking about two things. The first thing is list slicing. The second thing we're going to be talking about is tuples versus sets. Don't worry, it's very easy. Let's get started. So we have an array here called names. If we print out this array names, we're going to get the whole array. What if we want to get a single element? Well, we access the index. What if we want to get a slice? So for example, from Mora all the way to Rodwa, right? Mora, Omar, and Rodwa. So if you slice from index 0 all the way to index 2, which is the index where Rodwa is, then you won't get Mora and Omar. But if you slice up until 3, you will get Rodwa. And how do you slice? Well, you simply write the name of the array. And then you open this bracket and open another bracket. And in between, you have a starting position and a final position. And that's how you slice an array. Simple. Now let's move on to the next thing. The next thing we're going to be talking about is tuples. So tuples is a data structure that is immutable. It means you cannot change the components inside of it. So you can't, for example, overwrite Mora in a tuple. Okay? And it is ordered, it's indexed, and it allows for slicing as well. And it does allow duplicate elements. So you might have more than one Mora, right? You could have 7, 8, 9, doesn't matter. And you can access each of those elements using indexing and slicing. Now, let's give an example of what a tuple looks like. So here, for example, Popo, the famous Dragon Ball Z character, is equal 1, 3, 4. Type, Popo. So you have the tuple here of that type. So now let's access, for example, 0, then we get 1. Let's access 2, we get 4. So we can access it, we can index it, we can slice it however we want. So for example, let's add another number here. Let's say 10. Let's add another number. Let's say 1,000. You can say something like this. Between 0 till 2, you would get 1 and 3. Between 0 till 3, you would get 1, 3, 4. Simple. Okay? Now that we have the tuple data structure down. Okay, now that we've talked about lists, tuples, now let's talk about sets. So what are sets? Well, sets are basically a data structure that does not allow for duplicates, does not allow for indexing and slicing, and does not allow for things to be ordered in a different fashion than the default. And finally, it is not immutable. So you can change element 2, or in this case, element of index 1 in the list. You can do that in tuples, but you can't do that in sets. Okay, so let's look at how that would work. Let's add some space here. And let's initialize a set. Let's call this set numbers. Okay, nums. So the way you would initialize a set is using these nice curly braces. So you would do something like this: 1, 2, 3, and then let's try again 1. Now let's print out nums. And as you can see here, it completely ignored that last one. Why? Because it's a duplicate. Let's add 2 and 3. It would still do the same thing. It would ignore all these numbers because we already have a version of them here. This is sets. Now let's try to do something that isn't allowed, which is basically to overwrite this one using indexing. Okay, so let's do that here. Nums 0 is equal to, let's say, 1,000, so it could be different. No, 1,000, just that number. You see, there is a type error that pops up here. This type error pops up because this is a set object that does not support item assignment, which is what we talked about. Okay, that's it for our video.